What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel for a drop-in video from Texas. Yes, I'm still in Texas. This video is titled for the Mustang, and the 4Runner is beside me. So this video is not misleading whatsoever. It's going to detail the Mustang. So I've recently made a couple videos leading up to before I left for Texas in the 4Runner, and basically covering the Mustang and covering the 99 to 04 Mustang itself. And that's what we're going to be doing in this video. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be basically talking about a conversation that I overheard people talking about with a car meet. Well, it wasn't a car meet. It seemed like a car hangout at a gas station, and somebody had bought a new Edge Mustang and weren't really impressed with it. And I got to talking with them, and they only spent a couple $1,000 on it, but they were still, not that impressed. So it kind of gave me the idea, what are some stuff that you should, if you're going to go buy a 99 to 04 Mustang GT, that's all we're going to cover in this. We're not going to cover a V6, Cobra, Mach 1, or like a, Bullet or something like that. Just strictly like your base or premium GT. And here's some things that you should know before going to buy one, or what you're getting yourself into, and some things that you can do to maybe, fix those issues or kind of help out the car perform a little better. The first thing is, when you're going to go buy one of these cars, they're not fast. The V8s were maybe kind of fast back in the day for like 99 to 04 itself, but don't be like misleading yourself going into this thinking you're buying a 99 to 04 and you're going to go out here and start racing Coyotes and definitely like the newer cars and all that. Those cars came with like, I think, around 260 something horsepower, a little over 300 foot-pounds of torque. But the catch kind of behind it, even though I had a 4.6 years ago in mine and have the Coyote, I love the Coyote sound. It sounds a little different because the exhaust, the way the mufflers sit, they're not axle backs. They sit underneath the car still, where the factory 99 to 04 or aftermarket catbacks sit with their mufflers basically in that general area. A V8 sound from a 2-valve still sounds really nice. And when I'm like at a stoplight or something, or just driving mine, or just driving in general, and I hear one, that distinctive sound, kind of, if it's like a Flowmaster, SLP, or Borla or something like that, sounds super nice. You can't really get away from that sound, even if the car is slow. But that, something like that will make the car a little bit faster, but you'll definitely get that kind of iconic sound, which everyone, well, myself, for the 99 to 04 owners appreciate so much, because, I love the Coyote sound, but something with, a 2-valve just sounds super nice with like a X-pipe and even Flowmasters or a Borla catback. Bassani is pretty good too. The next step, if this car hasn't been lowered whatsoever and still in the stock suspension, it's going to look like it has a rough country lift kit on it. Like Ford went ahead and put the Explorer platform on the Mustang, and that is something that you can fix pretty cheap nowadays. A set of like Eibach or H&R springs are right around maybe $300 max from what I would probably remember. That is definitely something that you can put onto the car. I would, while you're at it, if that car has over at least 100,000 miles, I would go ahead and get a set of like Coney shocks and struts, put some caster camber plates on it by Maximum Motorsports, just to dial in the alignment a lot more. It will lower the car, and then if you have newer shocks and struts on it, it's going to be a lot better than the factory ones, and it's going to ride much better. The stance is going to look a hell of a lot better. That's something that you should know going in, that if you are buying, like even if they are aftermarket, say the car has been lowered, it's something I would still check out. And if you can, just go ahead and you have the money to upgrade that while you're, the first kind of mod you're doing to the car, I would definitely do that. The stance, and then like if you have a really good sound, it's it's going to turn heads, and the car is going to look a lot better. Another thing, the thing that you can kind of fix but maybe not, there's no real aftermarket solution to this, is kind of going into, when you buy one of these cars, the paint, especially in the yellow, the green, definitely the red and silver, since I own a silver Mustang, the paint fades, the clear coat fades super easily on like the hood, the roof, and then the rear quarter panels usually have a big problem. I would just, if you're not in a hurry and you want to buy it and that's something you're going to do later on, or you can do it yourself, save some money, that's something later on, I would just basically get the whole car fully repainted instead of doing like one piece there, one piece here, one piece there. And it kind of gives you the opportunity to, if you want to search for like an aftermarket bumper, like a Cobra bumper, or you want to add like a different hood, like a Cervini or something like that, while you're at it, you could tackle both those problems. But going in, you should know that the paint on these cars isn't always going to be the best, unless it was probably like garage kept or something like that. And speaking of that, the interior, basically the only thing you can really upgrade in the interior is your radio, which I would do. The radio and the sound system really isn't the best for these years, especially the radio itself. The volume knob usually stops working. That's what happened to mine. So you can't really turn the radio up or down. It kind of does its own thing after a while. The sound system really isn't the best, except for Mach 1000, which I'm not sure. I think the premiums had those, or it was just like a kind of like not a rare option, but a lot of people didn't get that option in the cars. I had one I never hooked it up or anything. I've heard one in person. They sound really nice, but I sold mine years ago. Another thing with the interior is the plastics. They're cheap. They're a parts bin kind of car. You know, the Ford Taurus, the Explorer, and all those cars still had like the power switch buttons, the same one. So if you're missing some or some break, the best thing you can do is actually you can go to any junkyard and get those pretty cheap. But at the same time, it's, you know, nothing special. Even if you do get a Cobra or something, the only difference you're really getting is like the face cluster gauge, maybe the leather shift knob cover or shifter cover, bezel cover, whatever. The e-brake is not synthetic leather, it's just leather, and then the seats are different usually too, from what I can remember. So if you want to replace your seats in the 99 to 04, say the leather's worn out or you just don't like the cloth, there's, you know, Corbo, Brom, or just two companies. LMR, American Muscle have a lot of options for aftermarket seats with the rails and everything, and it will make the car look a lot better. And you can always source like a different cluster gauge or something like that, or dress up the interior with UPR or the billet options, like the accessories, like the knobs and all that, and the switches. They're not super expensive. I'm not big on like chrome and stuff like that, but it is an option there that you can do to kind of make the car look a little different, or maybe a little updated. But again, the radio is one thing that I would definitely upgrade. Gears in this car, I'm not even honestly sure what gears the factory car came with, but you can always swap out for a 373 or like a 355 to kind of make the car quicker offline or off the line, you know, and then have better top end, just a better gear ratio. It might help out with gas mileage, I don't know. I don't know a lot about gears and stuff like that. The gears that I've always had and the newer ones I went with were the 373s, but you can also do 410s depending on how you're going to mod the car and what you're going to do with the car. But a set of gears does help. So it's not going to add power or anything. It's just going to make the way the car drives a little better. This is going to be for the manual option. If you're going into this and it's a stock car, the factory shifter sucks. So I would definitely upgrade to like a Steeda Triax or an MGW shifter, depending on what transmission you have. The Steeda and the MGW are right around the same price point, but if you don't want to spend the extra few, like $20 or $30 for MGW, Steeda is definitely one to go with. I've had the Steeda, the Pro 5.0, and the MGW. And my favorite obviously is the MGW, but the Steeda is a close second for that. And probably the last thing that I can think of for these cars is like maybe adding a colder intake or something like that. Sound a little better, tune, and it's not going to make the car super fast. It's, you know, that's just one of those kind of like myths out there that a colder intake adds like, you know, 50 horsepower, what they advertise. It doesn't. But that's an option. But the big other option is if you have factory wheels, if you're going to go ahead and lower the car, I would definitely get a set of 18s, not 17s. I don't even remember what size the factory had. I think they had like 16s or something like that on these. But you can actually go up to like an 05 to the S197 and get those wheels if you want a factory set of wheels. That's what mine actually had when I first bought it. I think I had a set of 08 wheels. They were Ford Bullet wheels, but you can always go with, you know, an aftermarket set of wheels from like LMR, American Muscle are two great options, you know, sites to kind of source a good looking wheel for these cars. Now I do wish I did cover this in a video. I wish there was like a company out there like Rovo still, or kind of like the RTR brand that Vaughn does a lot of, you know, stuff with the newer cars. I wish, you know, somebody would come out with a newer wheel or something like that. I know wheels are just, you know, everybody has done pretty much every wheel you can, but like maybe one of the newer wheel styles for, you know, the 99 to 04 Mustang would be super cool. But there's still plenty of options out there, even factory options, from the Cobra wheels to like Celine wheels, and aftermarket replicas and all that stuff like that. So just know going in, these cars aren't super fast, but you can make them kind of quicker. They're definitely fun to drive, and there's just some solutions you can do that won't break the bank on stuff you can add and, you know, swap out to make the car drive better, look better, and sound better. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll catch you guys later in another video. Have a good one.